Thank you and welcome. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I have to say that many of the products for Neolife are my favorites, but this one in particular is definitely right up there for me. It's been one of the products that have helped me stay active and able to exercise and just keep the fitness level that I've wanted to maintain over the last 30 years. I'm very excited to share this information with you. We're going to start with a very short, quick video, and then we're going to go into some more science behind the product. So welcome.
Mobile. How would you like to overcome the achy discomfort of accumulated wear and tear that has your joints tender, your movement stiff, and your mobility hampered? And if you haven't experienced these symptoms already, how would you like to keep it that way for the rest of your life? If you answered yes to either of these questions, this message is for you. It's all about taking care of your amazing joints, and it can make the difference between a lifetime of mobility and a lifetime of pain. Osteoarthritis, or degeneration of your joints, is considered by medical science to be a universal disease. That means everyone is going to get it, including you. It's only a matter of time. The bad news is osteoarthritis affects more than 70 million North Americans and is suffered by more than 600 million people worldwide, and those numbers are increasing rapidly. In fact, osteoarthritis and related disorders cost us more than $250 billion each year. It's a huge problem. But the good news is science has shown you can do something about it. There is an answer. You can slow and even halt the progress of osteoarthritis. You can even undo its damage and reclaim lost mobility, comfort, and flexibility. The answer is Full Motion, a brand new Power Pack nutritional supplement targeted at joint renewal, repair, and comfort. And it's only available from GNLD, the world's leader in advanced nutrition. My name is John Miller. I'm the Vice President of Science and Technology for GNLD International. If you're like millions of others across our nation and around the world, taking charge of your health for today and tomorrow is something you are not only prepared to do, but want to do. And when it comes to joint health, Full Motion is the very best you can do. Our joints are truly amazing. From our fingers to our toes, from our jaws to our spine to our hips and knees, the joints of our body are what give us the flexibility and mobility that is distinctly human. Indeed, many scientists believe that second only to our brain capacity, it is one very special joint structure, our opposable thumbs, that give us an advantage over all other species. Simply stated, our joints are a place where two or more bones come together and some flexibility or range of motion is needed for them to fulfill their function. Though the bones, ligaments, tendons, and muscles that form that joint are important, it is the cartilage, the lubricating, weight-bearing, friction-eliminating, shock-absorbing tissue that is the key to the joint's amazing function. It is because of cartilage that we can walk tens of thousands of miles in our lifetime in complete comfort, that we can make the millions of repeated jaw motions that facilitate talking, eating, and smiling, that we can play a piano or work a computer keyboard over and over and over for decades. It's a self-repairing system far better than any machine ever created. But our joints can degenerate when demand exceeds supply. Creating our amazing joints in the first place, and then maintaining, repairing, and regenerating them as we use and even abuse them throughout our lives places a constant demand on our body's ability to produce new cartilage. To make new cartilage, the body requires glucosamine. Glucosamine is normally made in specialized cells of the body by a natural biochemical process that combines glucose and the amino acid glutamine. But the process is very complicated, and as we age, the body's efficiency and capacity to produce glucosamine, and thus cartilage, can be dramatically restricted. This loss of glucosamine capacity, combined with increased needs brought on by physical activity, injury, and/or age-related cartilage degeneration, can result in a situation where demand for glucosamine exceeds supply. Without adequate glucosamine, new cartilage cannot be made. The result is pain, stiffness, and loss of mobility, known as osteoarthritis. This is where Full Motion comes in. This incredible new supplement delivers just what nature demands: pure, biologically functional, preformed glucosamine to fill the gaps in our body's supply. Science has shown that the most effective way to overcome the lack of available glucosamine is the direct supply of high-purity preformed glucosamine through the diet. This is exactly what Full Motion is formulated to do. But not just any glucosamine. Full Motion delivers the natural, non-sulfite, low-allergy, easy-to-digest hydrochloride form for maximum comfort and effect. In addition to the very best glucosamine, Full Motion also delivers GNLD's exclusive Herbal Comfort Complex to boost the body's natural anti-inflammatory capacity and provide added comfort. Full Motion also delivers our unique regenerative mineral complex to help assure an abundance of the biologically critical minerals synergistically necessary for healthy cartilage growth and maintenance. And each Full Motion tablet provides our high technology 3D advantage for quick digestion, optimal bioavailability, and user benefit. So whether you want to protect your joint health or rebuild it, Full Motion is the very best you can do. It's the comprehensive solution nature intended and only leading-edge science can provide. It's an unbeatable nutritional combination for better joint health from the world's leader in advanced nutrition, GNLD. So get comfortable, get flexible.
All right, so I'm just going to quickly get the PowerPoint up, and I'm going to explain a little bit about some of the wording that our scientists use. John Miller, some of you that are new to Neolife. Neolife is part of GNLD. So GNLD stands for Golden Neolife Diamide International, and the Neolife part of the company is all the nutritionals. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand it's the same company. That's an old video, as you can see, going back to when the bottles were those dark glass bottles. So it's the same product, only the packaging has changed a little bit. So, and again, I'm so excited to share this information with you. But we have a special lady that's going to be sharing a little more. She's the holistic nutritionist in our Canadian team, Mary Ellen Vandenbrink, and she's going to share her expertise. So thank you for joining us, Mary Ellen.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nada. And I know when they brought the Full Motion out, I was pretty excited because, you know, like you said, everyone is going to get osteoarthritis. And as you know, myself, I was a bad migraine sufferer, which showed I had a lot of inflammation in my body. So going on the core products and stuff really helped. But when I saw what the research and science behind the Full Motion, I thought, you know, I think this is something that would be very beneficial for me. So when we moved in the area we're living in now, I'm probably one of the few people there who have not had a knee or a hip replacement in my age group. And this is kind of the difference. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is not only preventing these types of things, but we're also going to talk a little bit about how you can deal with it if you do have some aches and pains, because like bone, joint health and muscle health is so, so important. So here's some of the sad facts. Joint problems affect, like, as John Miller said, so many people, right? 400 million people worldwide. And you look at the different categories, like 54% of people have experienced in the last 12 months joint pain. And I know that's a complaint I hear from my clients all the time: sore knees, sore shoulders, like so much inflammation, stiff joints. They wake up in the morning, they're really stiff, loss of flexibility, which is really, really important because that knocks your balance off, right? That's 33%. And 31% are diagnosed with either osteo or rheumatoid arthritis. So it's pretty rampant for sure. So what are some of the key nutrients for joint health? Well, as they were talked, zinc, very, very important because it stimulates growth and calcification, which is involved in collagen synthesis. So, you know, we hear so much about producing collagen, and we need this essential mineral. Boron reduces calcium loss and bone demineralization, because if our bones get thin and weak, then that affects the joints as well. Silica supports bone growth. And glucosamine, which supports the structure and function of the joints. So the nice thing with glucosamine, if you have some like a joint cartilage there, it can regrow, you know, so that's very important. And then of course, one of my favorites, the omega-3 fatty acids, because that supports the balance of inflammatory and anti-inflammatory factors, which is so, so important. So a little bit more on glucosamine. there's a couple different types, right? Because there's the glucosamine hydrochloride, which Neolife uses, and then there's the sulfate, which is a lot different. So what glucosamine basically does is slows the breakdown of cartilage. It helps to build, repair, and regenerate cartilage, which is reverses osteoarthritis process. And it reduces pain and other symptoms, because that's usually our first sign that something's going on, or we've got pain, right? And it's quickly and efficiently absorbed, which is so, so important, because if you don't absorb the product, it just passes through you. And here, where full motion plays a role, it regains that comfort and mobility in your joints. And I've had so many clients who say, you know, my knees were sore, they ached all the time. And once I started taking full motion, I don't have the pain anymore. So glucosamines with herbs, phytonutrients, and minerals, which help that comfort and flexibility. It supports healthy joint function, regenerates lost or damaged cartilage, and it boosts the body's anti-inflammatory capacity. And that's important, because if we have inflammation, it attacks. The inflammation actually breaks down that cartilage. It attacks it. So what's the Neolife difference? Well, there's 1,500 milligrams of that glucosamine hydrochloride, which is so, so important. That's the amount that studies show are effective, and it's easy to digest, sulfite-free form. It minimizes the risk of that digestive discomfort and allergic reactions as well, which is important. Then the Herbal Comfort Complex, that's a blend of those specially selected herbs and phytonutrients like bromelain, white willow, and boswellian, and it gives that long relief. So it really takes the inflammation out of there. And as a lot of people know, like white willow was actually where aspirin was derived from originally, but this is a natural way without the side effects. And Regenerative Mineral Complex provides all those key nutrients I talked about that are so important: zinc, boron, and silica. And one thing that's really different with Neolife, they have what is called the 3D advantage. And what that basically means is the tablet is absorbed in the body. So it's a unique delivery technology that has disintegration, dissolution, and dispersion. So you can easily digest it and your body can use it. So it's so, so important, because a lot of tablets out there, like I mentioned, just pass right through. So you know that this breaks down definitely.
Marilyn, I think this may be one of the reasons why, like over the years, we've talked to so many people that have tried other glucosamines on the market, and then they hesitate to try Neolife because they've tried so many with very little results. And we're going to hear some people share their stories. And, and when they give our full motion a try, within like 2 to 3 months, the results are incredible. And I think this is probably one of the main reasons, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of them too have chondroitin in them. And chondroitin is actually from the windpipe of cows. And it's, I know when I talked to John Miller, he said, definitely we cannot absorb that molecule at all. So a lot of the product is taken up with that as well.
Yeah, and I think he even said there's no science that supports that ingredient. And it's not really necessary to be in a product like this. So that's great. Thank you for sharing that.
And so now, Nada, would you like to share how the omega-3 salmon oil can reduce the inflammation?
Absolutely. So, that full motion is definitely an incredible product on its own. It does help to reduce inflammation and regenerate that cartilage. But when you add the omega-3 salmon, the two together, amazing results. And, this is where when you add the salmon oil, because it's pure, because it has all 8 omega-3 to support heart health and joint comfort and inflammation balance, it just is a great partner to that glucosamine and full motion. And people get phenomenal results when they add the salmon oil plus. Again, it helps in many other areas, brain function, and we all know the importance of omega-3 for heart health, but again, in healthy eyes. But with the healthy joints that we're focusing on this evening, the salmon oil is a great product to add on as a combination to the full motion. And one of the biggest differences, again, with the omega-3 fish oil is all 8 omega-3 members. Because I think most of the fish oils out there only have EPA and DHA, and they're missing the anti-inflammatory piece. So when people take other fish oils, they don't necessarily get the results. And I think this is why I think when you started taking the salmon oil, Mary Ellen, your migraines, right, you were able to notice a difference, right, and get results in that area as well. So the two together work absolutely incredible. But what's really, really important, it's screened for over 200 potential contaminants with an allowance of 0. Okay, so there's no mercury, no lead allowed in any of the Neolife products. And that's what's, again, very unique to Neolife. They test every single piece of fish with an allowance of 0. And it was featured in the UK by the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. They actually featured the Neolife salmon oil being safe for pregnant moms. And that's really important for mom to pass on to baby. So just a very pure product and very safe to take. So another nutrient that also plays a really big role in preventing osteoarthritis, Mary Ellen, is calcium. If you'd like to come back and share a little bit more about the calcium product.
Yeah, that's so true, Netta. And I've had a lot of people with joint, like sore feet and knees, and they find that the calcium magnesium makes such a big difference. So this is a very unique product. It's very bioavailable. So what that means is absorbed. And I know one of my customers, Ada, her mom she said, my mom can't take calcium. She's given this big tablet from the doctor and she swallows it and it sits in her chest like a rock. So we actually did this test where we got 2 glasses of vinegar and we put the Neolife CalMag in one glass and this other calcium that her mom was using in another glass. And within 15 minutes, the CalMag had completely dissolved. And 3 hours later, when they left, you know that tablet had not broken down one bit. It was just still in exactly the same form. So you think about it, do you think it's breaking down and getting into our body? Like, absolutely not. So it's very important to have highly bioavailable calcium for strong bones, but also for our teeth, our nerves, and our muscle function, and so much more in the body. And it's pharmaceutically pure, it's seashell derived, and it's got a 2-to-1 ratio of calcium magnesium, which is a very good balance to help the absorption of calcium. And it also, Dr. First developed the double amino acid chelation process. So again, it is actually, this makes this product 5 times more absorbable in the body than every other product out there on the marketplace. So here you can see it's when it's chelated, the absorption, and when it's not chelated. And this science that Dr. First put together was like one of the sort of when chelation all came about, right? And the reason he did it, because it increases the absorption of minerals, it helps the product disintegrate, dissolve, and disperse. So it's so, so important. And it's less irritating to the stomach and intestines, and that can be a big problem with calcium as well. And what they do, they put 2 amino acids. You can see them, they've attached it to the calcium molecule. So what that means is it makes it friendly for the body to pull it in. And Neolife Scientific Advisory Board is world renowned. And as I was talking, Dr. First was the founder. He was the co-founder of oral chemotherapy, one of the top toxicologists in the world. And this is a reason that our products have so much evidence-based science. And he also set up all our members of our scientific advisory board. They're world-renowned scientists and researchers who are involved in the research and development of the products and very well respected in the nutrition industry. And Neolife products use only GMO-free ingredients. Very, very important that you are assured of that. And they check it right from the seed stock right to the finished product, so they know it's completely free. So just to summarize, to get in motion, stay in motion, the 3 products that really key in on joint health are the Full Motion, the CalMag, and the salmon oil.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary Ellen. I'm here with my mama. Some of you have met my mom. And I have to share with you that this is a product that's really helped her stay active. She has a garden. I'm actually looking at her gardens right now through her windows, and acres of gardens and perennial gardens and vegetable garden and garlic. And I have to say that how many years ago, Mom, that you've had your joint pain and when it started?
Well, actually, when you started with the products,
So 30 years ago. Yeah.
It was my knees and my fingers
Mhm.
and in my toes, actually. I had arthritis.
Yeah. How long would it take for you to open your fingers? In the
Oh
morning?
gosh, my hands were so stiff I couldn't chop an apple for my husband's breakfast.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
she
it was really
really
painful.
struggled with
Yeah.
joint pain in her fingers and her toes. And we initially we got her on the salmon oil because we didn't have the full motion yet. And then when they launched the full motion, she was one of the test studies that they used for the product. And how long did it take before you got results?
A couple of months at least.
Yeah, so after 2 months,
2 to 3
fingers were
months, yeah.
straight, toes were straight, and she's physically active and still really enjoying the high quality product. So thanks, Mama.
Okay.
So, you know, and my mom, again, it didn't happen within a few days, right? That's the key to staying on the products, is getting the inflammation down and getting the regenerating and repairing and rebuilding the cartilage, right? So, you know, the younger you are, obviously from a prevention standpoint, but even if there's some cartilage there, it's amazing what you can do. I would actually like Shelley Sheridan to share her story because she has a very powerful testimonial when it comes to the products.
Thanks, Nada. Yes, I'm so grateful Neolife has these. When I was in my 20s, I had problems with joint pain and had to have both my knees scoped. And that worked for a while. And then all of a sudden in my 40s, they started acting up again. And so I had the joint pain in my knees, and I had also learned that I had osteoarthritis in my hips. Just being active in sports my whole life, it was all starting to catch up to me. I actually had to stop running at that point because I was having so much pain in my knees. Happened to meet Nada at a show that we were at, and Full Motion had just come out. And so I decided to try it. And I was one of those people for the last 2 years had been trying different glucosamines. I knew about the arthritis in my hips, and my knees were getting worse. And either they worked for a bit and then they stopped, or they didn't work. I was trying natural things. I was trying synthetic, and nothing was working. So I was really skeptical when she said, oh yeah, this Full Motion, and talked about your mom and talked about a friend as well who was part of the study. So I thought, well, what the heck, I'll try it. Within a month, for me, it worked really well. Within a month, I was back running. And then I kind of, you know, why is this company a little different? Started asking more questions, learned about the salmon oil. I also wore braces on my knees. I started taking the salmon oil as well. And over time, with the inflammation, within a year, I no longer wore my braces. And for the last 12 years have still not worn my braces. And we were doing 200-kilometer bike rides, and like, I'm a very active person, curling and everything. So, and then in February, I broke my leg in both bones below my right knee. And I was just so thankful to have these products, because I started out like even more of the Full Motion and more of the salmon, and definitely the CalMay got added in for the bones. And my recovery was incredible. I was out of my cast after 7 weeks. And then, you know, strengthening and all the rest of it that goes along with it. Actually went biking last weekend, went out in my kayak this week, and it's only been like 4 months since both of them are broken. And I can say using these products were absolutely huge in my recovery. And people from doctors, nurses, physiotherapists and chiropractic, like professional in the medical field. And people were just saying, like, Shelley, you don't have as much inflammation as most people would with what you've done to yourself. And I said, well, I use, you know, a lot of products, and I've been using them for 12 years, and they made a huge difference. And eating well, and, you know, and a few other things too. But yeah, I'm very grateful that, you know, that I have these and will continue using them for the rest of my life, because I like being active.
Absolutely. And Shelley and I have even ventured in Arizona. In the desert, we went fat wheel tire biking. And
Yeah, fat tire bike, absolutely. And it's just nice to be able to be active and to be pain-free. I mean, that's the big thing when you talk about, you know, getting up from a chair or moving around and the aches and the pains. I don't have that. I mean, obviously, other than the healing from the broken part, but I don't have them when I'm on these products.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shelley. Really appreciate you sharing tonight.
Thank you.
So, that's why the products make such an impact. And, when you're looking at those products that we talked about, sometimes we have to look at the core nutrition that Neolife has to offer. And I'm just going to briefly describe just some of the foundation products that help your cells work better for absorption, nutrient utilization. And this Pro Vitality Pack is a great base, which is our core nutrition. It has your grain oil, which is something that's no longer in our food anymore, helps with our cells. Our cells work better so nutrients can absorb in through that cell membrane. And these nutrients are no longer in our food due to milling and processing of our grains. This is a product I started to take over 30 years ago, initially because of my fatigue. I was working as a police officer in Toronto, and the shift work just really did me in, and my hormones were not balanced. And the grain oils that were in this pack called Tray&N made a really big difference in my energy and hormonal balance. Then there's a carotenoid, which is your fruits and vegetables, because we're not eating enough of those dark colored fruits and vegetables every single day. And the carotenoids are made from your peppers and tomatoes and spinach and apricots and peaches and strawberries. So again, it helps to fill the nutritional gaps in the vegetables and fruit department. And then there's one salmon oil in there, so one omega-3 and a multivitamin. So this is a great little base pack. And then like my mom did, she added extra salmon oil, and Shelly added extra salmon oil to really help increase the omega-3, especially if you have a lot of pain or a lot of, or you want to repair and rebuild due to injury. So the base is the Pro Vitality. Then you can add on, we call it stack on products, the salmon oil, the calcium, magnesium, and the full motion. Okay. There's also protein shake. When you add the protein shake to that Vitality Pack, we call this a breakfast pack. And this pack is something that I've been taking now for 30 years. I've not gone a day without the Neolife Shake. The Neolife Shake is protein, but it's a proper ratio of protein to carbs. It's completely natural, balances blood sugar. Just a great way to start your morning for breakfast. My kids grew up on it. It's safe for babies and kids. I know your grandkids are taking it, Marilyn. Your kids are taking it when they were growing up, and just such a great way to start your day. So this is another, we call it core nutrition, so another foundational product or a program, so the breakfast pack, and then you can add the full motion, extra salmon and calcium, magnesium if you have the severe osteoarthritis or you're looking at preventing that cartilage loss. So just a bit of a explanation on the core nutrition that Neolife has. And, we have a variety of products for digestion, for sleeping, for low iron and things like that as well. Vitamin D, which is a completely natural, not made from sheep's wool or lamb's wool. It's made from plants and mushrooms. So if you're looking at other products, we do have amazing whole food supplements to fill the nutritional gaps. But now I'd like to have Heather Lacroix join us this evening. She also has a fantastic story on joint pain and how some of these products have helped her stay active. Heather.
Okay, yes, thank you very much, Nada. I'm really happy to be able to share on this topic. It's made such a difference in my life. I'm 68, I'll be 69 next month. And I've had joint issues all my life. Growing up as a kid, I sprained my ankles all the time. Seems like people in my family had bad backs, bad knees. My sister, my brother, they both had knee issues and surgeries. That was like as a little girl in elementary school. And then in high school, I had a really bad shoulder injury. And it got so bad that the wear and tear on my shoulder joint, I had to give up all my sports. I was really, I didn't know what to do at that point. Eventually, in my 20s, I tried skiing again, downhill skiing. I loved, but it turned out just about every time I'd have to hobble home. And I actually went on a ski trip out west and ended up the last day skiing, fell, wrecked the knee, back home in crutches. Like it just was terrible. And then in my 30s, I had a really bad basketball injury. I tried going back to the sports. I couldn't give them up, and it turned out really bad. I was in a full leg cast. I had torn ligaments and cartilage at that point. So for years, I couldn't kneel down. I couldn't even come close to kneeling down on the floor. And I would be immobilized with episodes of my back issues. I had degenerated discs. So, it sounds terrible to say about it, but as I went through the decades, yes, there's wear and tear on our joints that happens. But also what I noticed that stamina and energy really becomes an issue with people too. And I was introduced to Neolife back in 1998. I was really, really tired. I wasn't exercising at all. I was teaching full time. I was 46 years old. And after a few weeks on what is the equivalent of the breakfast pack, I got my energy back. I couldn't believe it. I felt more optimistic even. Started to go on walks and exercise and started Tai Chi. And then I learned about the salmon oil. I increased that a little bit, and then Full Motion came out. So I started on that, and I couldn't help but go back and try sports again. So now at 69, I golf. I curl using the sliding delivery. I took up pickleball. I do lots of Nordic pole walking. And if you were on the call last week, you heard how in a snowshoe race, I go in a snowshoe race 5K, I was able to actually take 7 minutes off my time a couple of years ago. So it's really, really great to be active, mobile. It just brings more joy to my days. And so I really want my friends to be active with me. I have a lot of friends who, they can't slide the delivery anymore in curling, and can't walk the golf course. They have to go in a cart, or they can't do it as more than a couple of times a week. And gosh, I want them to be able to play with me. And so I really encourage them, and I encourage all of you to take the Neolife whole food supplements, because they're not magical. They actually just give your body the building blocks to repair, to renew, to rebuild, and to nourish. So whether I was in my 40s when I was introduced, 50s, and now in my 60s, I'm always finding people who are tired, or they are giving up on different activities because their joints are wearing out. And so, I love to help them. And so doing this as a business, it's just so fulfilling, because I'm able to help people and, keep them active. When you start not doing some of these activities, then everything else just domino spirals down. So I want people to be healthy, have fun, and have fun with me and play. So thanks for letting me share that.
Heather, I watched you over the years, many, many years. We've been friends through the business, and I'd like to say I just really appreciate you sharing and helping us understand that we can slow the aging, right? That's the key, right? We want to live until we die. I think that's what would like to do, and stay active. So thank you so much for sharing your story. I really, really appreciate that. And you mentioned the business, and not everybody it looks at the business initially, right? That was me. I just wanted to get healthy. I wanted my mom to get healthy. I started to share some of this information with my family and my friends, and not really understanding the business opportunity. I wasn't looking for business. I really thought that the police career was going to be my career. But after sharing and getting results, I got really excited about taking a deeper look into the business. But those of you that are just looking at using the products, as soon as you become a member of our wellness club, it's free to join. And when you become a member, you automatically get a 15% discount. Okay. When you go on auto ship, auto delivery, for example, that salmon oil bottle, if you take 3 a day, which is what we recommend for the inflammation, it lasts a month. So if you set that up on auto ship, you get the product at wholesale price. Even the Vitality pack is a month's supply. The breakfast pack is a month's supply. So when you set that up on auto delivery, you do get it at wholesale price, okay? And when you stay on auto ship as a club member, you get all your shipping back, and they give it to you after 6 months, and you can spend that money on other products. So it's a great loyalty program the company put together. Also, if you refer 3 people to one of those health packs that we talked about, you get yours free every single month. So it's a great way to get your products free. And sometimes people just start using the product, and they feel the results, and they see the benefits. They share it with their friends, their mom, and their neighbors, their sister or coworker. And when they get 3 people, their pack is free every single month. So it's a great way to get your products for free. There's also a fitness challenge and a weight loss challenge. There's a great fitness class that you can join for free every morning at 8:30. It's a half-hour program, and if you don't catch it live, you can do it because it's recorded. You can do it anytime during the day. So it's the great support that Neolife has. So these are the different health packs. So you've got your Vitality Pack. You've got your breakfast pack, which is definitely kind of the best seller because you're getting your breakfast every morning and your multivitamin pack. And then you can stack on the salmon oil and the full motion added to one of these packs if you're looking at optimal nutrition, okay? And again, if you refer 3, you get your pack free. Okay. There's also a really great Facebook community, a group called Neolife Healthy Living Community. There's over 8,000 members now. This is where once we're Facebook friends or the person that invited you, they can invite you to this group. Great testimonials. Actually, Heather, your testimonials in there. I think Shelley, your story is in there. There's video interviews, written testimonials. My mom's in there. I think I'm in there. So, but a lot of people from all over North America share their journey and in their health journey. It's all based on nutrition and health. And just remember, Neolife doesn't make any claim to cure anything, but it's amazing when you give your body the proper nutrition, right? That's what Heather talked about, is just filling the gaps, giving the body what it needs to reduce inflammation so the body can heal. Okay, so that's what, and this site, amazing testimonials are shared. And then there's one more option. I mean, Heather talked about the business, and again, I wasn't looking for a business, but if you or someone you know enjoys helping others, this is the part that drew me to the company. I really wanted to make an impact and have a difference in people's lives where I was stuck in my job. I really didn't feel like that was where I wanted to be. And the culture, the Neolife culture, just made me feel so good. And I felt blessed to be a part of such an amazing organization. And I got so happy sharing and continuing to share. And that's where the business really started to grow. And, you know, where can you start a business for less than $100? I have to say that the income potential is amazing. You can generate 500, 1,000, 5,000 or more. You know, both my husband and I were able to leave our jobs. We both had police careers, and it didn't happen overnight. We built our business, the stability was there, and eventually we were able to make that choice. So it just depends on, you know, where you're at in your life, or you might be in a position where, you know, your job's not stable, right? You know, there's so many people today that are really stuck and they're looking for something for security to have that they can fall back on, or to do something in their retirement, right, Shelley? To have a purpose in their retirement. I know Shelley always said that to me, you know, if you weren't, when you left your teaching career, what would you say was the thing that scared you when you left your job and you retired?
Well, do you know what? I think the biggest thing was because we had just moved to a new town, which is absolutely lovely, and the neighbors are lovely, but I was moving away from my colleagues and my community within my neighborhood, my community within my work. And yeah, and it just kind of, and also I was an educator. I was a teacher for 32 years, and I loved my job and I loved to share. So to all of a sudden not have that anymore, it was like, yes, I wanted to do some traveling, which we did. And yes, you know, there were other things on my to-do list, but after a couple of years, it was like, okay, well, like, now what am I going to do for the rest of the time? You know, my son was out west and daughter-in-law and everything. So, you know, the more that, because I had used Neolife for several years at that point, and I liked the science and the people that I had been meeting in the community, I was really drawn to learn even more about it. And then I made that shift to share more about it, because as an educator and just my own personal experiences, the products worked. And I liked the science behind it. And it worked for my son, and it worked for my husband and different people who had asked me about the products. And so, you know, I got more involved with it, and I'm so happy that I did, because it gave me a purpose then to continue educating. It gave me an amazing community of people, positive, uplifting, you know, to surround myself with. So, and extra income that allows, me to stay connected with our son out west and do some charity work and different things. So yeah, it all just kind of came together as a wonderful option after retiring.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shelley, for sharing. We'll really appreciate it. And I know when you shared earlier before we started the recording, and I just wanted to share that it's a pleasure to have you and our team as well. I mean, I know, you're looking at money towards your, even though you're retired, more money into your retirement, right? And I think that's something that this can do. So I just want to thank you so much for sharing earlier with us. I really appreciate it. The Ideal Business Facebook group is another group that we can invite you to if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the possibilities, and the stories that are in this group are fantastic. So again, if you like to learn more, check it out. A great group that we can add you to just to learn a little bit more about the business opportunity. So again, most of you have joined this evening that just want to learn about the products, how you can get started. You can join as a member for free, give the products a try. And if you're curious about the business, ask the person that invited you this evening to send you some more information, just to give you a better idea on how the business works. And if you're not quite ready yet to do either, that's okay. We can send you information, do some research, look at the science, and we're here to help you every step of the way. And we're going to stop the recording and open it up to questions for those of you that have some questions about what you heard this evening. So thank you so much for joining us.